Guys, really and truly, man, I'm telling you, it is like very, very much often so. It is quite rare, right, when people and their actions disgust me on such an unbelievable level to where I have to come on here to my YouTube page of the Massacre Films and make a video about it. Because you guys know, right? It doesn't. I don't. If you know me, it doesn't really, frankly, matter if you go to school with me or primarily know me online and you're a fan of my videos, right? You would know that I myself am a very strongly opinionated young man. Some people, especially on the more progressive side, might call me a radical. Though that isn't true, I'm just a traditionalist conservative. But the reason I'm making this video, right, is because, like I said, some people just truly disgust me in their actions on an unbelievable level that they should truly be ashamed of themselves. And I make this video because, as you guys may or may not know, yesterday was a very tragic day because, for those who don't know what happened yesterday, the very popular and highly beloved conservative speaker and activist Charlie Kirk was murdered yesterday. Not only did he pass away, right, but he was murdered in front of at Utah State University, right, on campus while he was giving a speech in front of 3,000 fans. Also in front of his wife and young children. And guess what, guys? People are excited about this, actually. They are celebrating his death. They are happy that Charlie Kirk passed away. Now, the thing is, right, what I've been saying since last night is, I might seem a little biased because I am a Charlie Kirk supporter. I support what he's saying, and I know, of course, I know about his alliance with President Trump, which, as you guys know, I also highly support. But the thing is, I'm not biased, because the thing is, even though I am a traditionalist conservative, you see, the thing is, right, I do not care what your ideology is. I do not care what you believe. But the fact is, the man still died. It was still a death, no matter what the man did, no matter what you believe about him, right? What people often forget is that, like I said, no matter what you believe about him, it was still a death nonetheless. This man's wife, right, is now left without a husband. His 2 young children are now left without a father, and that is because of these stupid politics, guys. Bro, it actually fills me with anger, because people, like I said, he was legit murdered, right, in front of 3,000 people, including his wife and young children, and people are excited about this, right? And what I find, both in my personal life and online, and I'll talk about that later, right? But you see, basically, right, when he was actually murdered, right, because I've seen the video, because when it happened, it was all over social media, and in the video, what I find quite ironic is right before he was murdered, right, he was literally talking about what I believe to have been mass shootings in schools, and then he got murdered, guys. And people are excited about this because they need to get a fucking life, guys. I swear to God. And my friend, the anti-50s man, Communist Carson, he made a video about this as well, because it really angers us very deeply, right? And when he was shot, right, he was literally shot. I was showing my mother this morning. He was shot legit right here, right? And I'm not trying to be rude, because all due respect for Charlie, he's the GOAT, right? But he was shot right here, and I do not, right? As soon as that bullet hit him, he turned into a corpse immediately. The blood flow was insane. He was actually gushing of blood. He had no chance of surviving. And like I said, this is all because of the stupid politics. You see what I'm saying, guys? What I was thinking about people being excited about Charlie Kirk's death, because they are sick and they are twisted. It all started last night when this liberal progressive crash out known as Tad Fafty. If y'all know me on Discord, y'all know who I'm talking about. But she posted on her Discord server, the Speak Easy, right? And she was like, "Let's go, Charlie Kirk died." And I of course, this is actually disgusting, despicable action, right? So I screenshotted and posted it to my server, and my friend Beverly, she's 19, and she also knew that what Tad Faffy said was completely unreasonable, truly disgusting, right? So Beverly forwarded what I said to the Speakeasy Tad Faffy server, which was basically like I was saying earlier about how I don't care what your ideology is, the man still died. I don't care if you respected him or not. You still need to like respect his death. And a lot of people agree with me. Me, Beverly, and a couple other people from the Speakeasy. We basically right we were harassing Tad Faffy. We called her out, and at first she was like defecting from the claims, and she was like, what about Hitler? Like, thing is, right, Adolf Hitler, right? And her friend, I believe her name is Adriana, I'm not sure. So that sounds about right. Her name is Tiggs on the Discord server. Basically, she agreed with me that Tad Faffy is like completely uneducated, right? And that probably wasn't her exact wording, so if she's watching this, I did not mean to say that, right? But basically, she was on about how, like, basically, right, I think the difference is, right, in history, right? Adolf Hitler, right? He killed 60 million, right? From 1939 to 1945, during the World War II, when he was, like, invading every place and, like, capturing all the Jews and such. He killed 60 million. How many people did Charlie Kirk kill? None. Because, see, the thing is, right, Charlie Kirk, he always advocated for peace and non-violence, and this man was assassinated, right? And in broad daylight as well, in front of his wife and children, this guy literally went out like the GOAT himself, JFK. Like, it's actually abominable. Like, I'm actually filled with... This guy, I'm telling you, he could have been the next president of the United States. Because he was truly a good speaker, you know. We've seen his videos on YouTube, right? He never lost a debate. And, he's very charismatic as well. He's a funny guy. Yeah, like, but anyway, about Tad Faffy, yeah, me, Beverly, and a couple other people, after, you know, she used to believe that he was right. She was like, oh, yeah, he belongs in jail. I'm glad that he died. And when we were telling her, you know, like, this guy died right in front of his wife and children, you know what, Tad Faffy, the liberal crash out, the nerd, the dork, the square, you know what she said? She said, thank God his children don't have to grow up with him as their father. I was appalled by this. Me, Beverly, a couple other people, we were actually genuinely appalled by Tad Faffy's disgusting, truly appalling, abominable, whatever you want to call it, behavior, guys. I swear to God, this was actually appalling. And, like... So that's how we bullied her. Well, she deleted the message. She news Charlie Kirk died. Tad Faffy is not a good person, and she should be punished for, like... And I remember one time that I was talking to somebody on Discord. Well, they were talking to my friend, the Top Greaser, and they were saying, "Oh yeah, the opinions of dead people don't matter." Of course they matter. Like, you compare Charlie Kirk to Adolf Hitler, that's not even reasonable. It's not even rational. It's like, oh. Like I said, some people disgust me to beyond a certain degree. And you guys know I usually do not make videos about this. The 50s, the 60s, because, you know, they will be consumed, because, you know, this channel is not for politics, you know. It's to discuss the good times, you know, the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s. Occasionally I discuss the 70s. The channel is supposed to be remembering the good times, looking back on those times today. Not a modern political channel, but sometimes these just things have to be done, guys. Like, it fills me with so much hatred. And then, right, I go to school today, right? I didn't think anybody was going to really care about the Charlie Kirk passing away, because you guys know I'm a freshman in high school. Not many people care about political stuff like I do. But at the cafeteria for breakfast, me and my friends, Gavin, Logan, and John, we were discussing the murdering of Charlie Kirk, and we were talking about how, you know, we liked his videos, how he was a great guy, and like it sucks that he like was murdered. front of 3,000, in front of his wife and kids, and that we're gonna miss him. Great speaker, man. I'm telling you. And so I thought that would be public consensus around the school that we miss him, that it wasn't deserved. But then I get to my history class, right? And these hood rats, I swear to God, these hood rats. I'm not even trying to be racist, but as you can probably imagine, they were African American. Like I said, I'm not even trying to be racist here, but I'm stating an actual fact, right? I'm stating a literal fact that they were African American. I'm not racist. I have nothing against African Americans. What I do have something against, right, is people who celebrate other people's deaths, right? Appalling behavior, truly disgusting. And right. And they were talking about how they were so glad that Charlie Kirk died. How they don't feel remorse for him and his family. They even said, right, that the same guy who shot Charlie Kirk, which we thought was the old man, but that's not true. They had the wrong guy. They said the same guy who successfully took out Charlie Kirk should have been the guy who tried to assassinate President Trump. And my history teacher, Mr. Brooks Donaldson, he didn't do anything about it. In fact, he was sleeping this morning. Actually, I was walking to the cafeteria. The man was sitting outside of the cafeteria in a chair sleeping. I'm not even joking, guys. He was talking about the Pope is going to brothels and the pleasure parlors. And he's in the hard notes. He told us that the Pope was pissed when Martin Luther nailed why he didn't like the Catholic Church on the wall of the door of the Catholic Church, guys. He did not do anything about this disgusting, appalling behavior that these people were saying about Charlie Kirk and President Trump and several others. They were making fun of President Trump as well. This one guy, his name was Matthew, right? You suck. And he was doing an impression of Donald Trump. Very distasteful. Donald Trump's not even the best. It's Eisenhower and Kennedy. But Donald Trump, he's top 5 presidents easily. Some people think I'm a radical, man, but the fact is, I might be a conservative, I might be a traditionalist, I might be a conservative, I might be a capitalist, I'm a patriot, I'm an all-American, I'm a clean-cut, upstanding citizen of the great 48 United States of America, this amazing country, man, we've got here. And, of course, I'm a nationalist, I'm a patriot, I love this country, right? And truly what it is, guys, right? United States of America. I love this country to death, July 4th, 1776, so it's come a long way since then, for better or for worse, of course, but better ups we've had or downs, but used to, right? Two people of opposing political parties, they debated like men, right? They did not disgustingly, murder, right? Because Charlie Kirk didn't just pass away. He was fully murdered in broad daylight, right? Back in the old days, they didn't, murder other, beloved figures in the other political party, right? That's just not how it worked in those days. But it's before, the 80s. The 80s and before. Which, as much as I like Nixon, I feel like he's the one who kind of started this because he got impeached. Well, no. Nixon didn't get impeached. That was the Clinton. Nixon, he resigned. He was like, I resign. Shouldn't have resigned, man. He was goated as a president. He was goated when he was Eisenhower's vice president back in the 50s. Luckily, he did lose to Kennedy, though. But if the Democratic nominee would have been anybody but Kennedy, I probably would have voted for Nixon. If I voted in the 1960 election, of course, enough. Unfortunately, I wasn't around. Wish it was. But back to Charlie Kirk, right? The behavior that I experienced online and at my school of people absolutely, praising Charlie Kirk's death, I was appalled. Truly. Because, like I said, I do not care about your ideology. I do not care what you believe if you respect Charlie Kirk when he was alive, and not if you respect his opinions. But the fact is, right, the man died. The man was murdered in broad daylight in front of his wife and young children, and now their family is missing a beloved husband, father. And in fact, Donald Trump, President Trump, people are mad at President Trump because he was like, until Sunday all the flags are gonna be at half staff, and posthumously we're gonna give Charlie, the highest, achievement humans can receive, federally at least. And people were upset. People were upset of this because these radicals, they don't like Trump, they don't like Charlie Kirk. They probably don't like anybody, if I'm being honest, but their stuff is quite narcissistic, man. But right, and I get home, right, and I'm so mad Me and my friend Carson, we both made videos about Charlie Kirk. He released his earlier because we were genuinely like infuriated about this, and I'll put his video in the description. But I get just earlier, and I thought I was done right about the Charlie Kirk. But yesterday, my friend Noel Beale, if y'all know who I'm talking about, Charles Kirkland, Noel Beale. He was as much as I like to rag on Noel Beale, and I wanted to bully him in this video. But the fact is, right, he was like Charlie Kirk is a bad guy. I don't like his opinions, but I respect that. I respect him. I'm not like excited that he passed away. And though I disagree with Noel Beale because Charlie Kirk was an amazing person, of course. Next president, definitely after Trump or Vance. But because Vance is gonna succeed Trump, hopefully. Well, if Trump gets assassinated, which hopefully not, but if he does, which people are predicting, then Vance will obviously succeed him, unless they take out Vance too, which will be a horribly terrific incident, right? But anyway, back to my main topic. I respect Noel Beale because he said, even though he doesn't like Charlie Kirk, that he's not going to be excited about his death. But basically, earlier, right, somebody joined my Discord server, and I don't remember his name. He had like a bison as his profile picture, and he was, I think, he was Christian because in his bio he put God first. And as as I always usually do, when people join my server, I was like, hey man, introduce yourself, welcome to the server. He says he makes memes. I'm like, oh, what kind of memes? He sent us the video, right, of Charlie Kirk's death, and I was talking, this is not funny whatsoever, and I know I have a sick, twisted sense of humor, my mother will agree, but I don't think this is funny, because they are literally spreading around the video of his death. How do you think his wife would feel about this? In fact, she's meeting with Vice President Vance tomorrow, I'm pretty sure, right? And my friend John had told me this morning that the video had been scrubbed, that they had been wiped off social media. Of course not. Obviously not. People are still finding it, right? My friend Leo, when he first told me about it yesterday, he said his eyes hurt. Like, literally. It's a horrible video. And my mother was like, oh yeah, I haven't seen the video on TikTok. Don't look for it. It's appalling. It's gross. The guy gushing blood. No offense to Mr. Kirk, of course. He couldn't help it, but the guy turned into a corpse immediately. There was no chance of survival, right? And like, look around me and serious, guys. This is not funny. Spreading around videos of Charlie Kirk's death footage. I know I find a lot of stuff funny that most people don't, right? This isn't funny. This isn't. Excuse my language here, right? But this isn't fucking funny. Like, it was a devastating loss. It really was. And like I said, no, I usually don't make videos about this, but this is truly just what needed to be done, because like I said, it is quite often and rare when people appall me, disgust me to such a high level of degree that I have to make a video about them. But I just had to, because Charlie passed away, with us conservatives, right, we're not gonna back down. It's like the Beach Boys song, "Don't Back Down," man. We're not gonna back down. We're gonna double down, right? Because, right, we love Charlie, of course. But just because he passed away, right, just because he's gone, doesn't mean that us conservatives cannot win in this culture war. I don't like identity politics. I really don't. I find it quite stupid. But apparently that's the only way us conservatives can win. So, as I said, that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys agree. Comment down below. Send this to my friend Carson, because he made his video. I'll put his rant in the description below. So, if I have anything else I want to say, I'll make a part 2, of course. But as always, guys, stay cool. Don't be a fool. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. I'm out.